You want to hear a joke?
Yeah!
He's a filthy, filthy child. He really is. Now, I have a paper here because there was no way in hell I was going to memorize this shit. Alright, I think you've heard this joke before. But Harry says it's a good joke. Kurt Whitesby. Karl Rove walks into a talent agency and says, "Have I got an act for you?" I'll wait. Picture this. The curtain slowly rises. The stage is empty. George W. Bush and a wheelchair George Bush Sr. enter completely naked. Their eyes meet. They slowly, methodically, and tenaciously stroke each other's extraordinary petite, trivial, and ineffectual man-sickles. As rigidity finally takes hold, they kiss, long and hard and wet, sucking each other up like a two-headed snake consuming itself. Mouth, tongue, and lips, the ultimate love a father could have for his son. George W. then straddles the wheelchair. Their bodies contract and thrust as they slowly begin to melt into each other, so you don't know where one begins and the other one ends. The two of them begin to spin around and up and down, faster and faster, until there's just a blur of flesh and metal. Then, with all the gusto of Katrina bursting through a levee and killing half of New Orleans, the two Georges reach the apex of their love, whitewashing the master copy of the Constitution with their own putrid, chunky man sauce. Feeling fully spent and satisfied, they declare war on a third world nation. Suddenly, Supreme Court Justices Roberts and Scalia, dressed in matching buttonless leather chaps, and harnessed to a buggy, pulling a quivering, shivering, jello-shaking Barbara Bush, au naturel, onto the center of the stage to the loud purring of her high-speed vibrator, lodged firmly in her hairy, sage-brushed, tumbleweeded twat. Oh yes, Barbara has an extraordinary bush. Now, her tongue is focused on exploring the buttock of best-selling author Millie the dog, while breastfeeding a hungry Michelle Bachmann and one of the Cheney daughters. I believe the gay one because she's liking it. Dick Cheney trying to take attention away from his carpet-munching daughter. She brushes in. He falls, heart too weak from the old faction of Barbara's now dripping love pudding. Harry taught me this joke, by the way. In the wings, Clarence Thomas, once cornholing, twice porking, a ball gag Condoleezza Rice, who is post-coital rushes to her dick side, rips open his shirt, and defecates all over his robotic chest. She then begins shoveling up her own freshly baked, steaming feculent into his gasping, crooked mouth. As streams of her manure matter trickle down his throat, Cheney is revitalized and apparently aroused. Colin Powell pops in cock blocks, then eagerly scoops up the droppings into a beaker, labels them weapons of mass destruction, and delivers them to the UN. Somewhere along the way, Dane Cook becomes immensely popular. Ted Cruz, in an attempt to ride high on Dane Cook's gravy train, repeats word for word the last Dane Cook HBO special to complete and utter silence, costing the taxpayers $24 billion. Meanwhile, the once cute and now aging Bush twins, also in the All Together, sit on opposite sides of the stage. They simultaneously spread their legs wide open and shoot Trick Palin back and forth using only their colossal, cavernous cunt cannons to launch and snatch the airborne genetically challenged Todd. As the microcephalic toddler makes an astounding fourth triple loop backflip, the Fox News team of Stossel, O'Reilly, and Hannity cover below in an acrobatic abomination, nervously tugging their flaccid gin-soaked Yankee Doodles to the ultimate fantasy, former governor and media whore, Sarah Palin. She is scantily clad in just an American flag G-string, pasties, and waiters, farting the Star-Spangled Banner through a flute shoved up her ignorant white ass. Oh, it goes on. Oh, to Sarah's right, celebrity wife swapper Bristol Palin is sodomizing her baby daddies, Levi Johnson, with a sawed-off shotgun, while Father Todd gags on Levi's engorged 10-inch daddy-whacking baby maker. Coincidentally, John McCain fists Todd with his good arm, while the death panel cancels their health insurance and defunds the Affordable Care Act. To the left, nothing. Suddenly, Paul Rand falls to his knees begging for scraps of sloppy seconds. Upon finally finding a bone to swallow, he immediately proceeds to regurgitate for 8 consecutive hours. The spewed enormous chunks of nutrient pieces form a statue of Speaker of the House, John Boner, which Chris Christie quickly ladles into a big bucket, eats half for himself, and then uses the remaining water to waterboard Roberto Rivera to get the truth behind Michael Jackson's death. It was Colonel Mustard in the boys' room with a syringe. From out of the wings we see Marcus Buchanan and Rick Perry tap dancing to the stars in the loo of the Minnesota airport to the tune of George Michael's Faith. Using Rick Santorum's own Santorium as lubricant, Bachman and Perry gang rape Mitt Romney. And a secret agent jerks off in the corner with a pair of rusty handcuffs, spraying the WC in blood and man batter. The House immediately calls for another shutdown until a drug test for all welfare recipients is administered and anyone below the poverty level is executed, thus ending the need for Obamacare once and for all. Then, everybody returns on the stage for the big finale. In various stages of dress and sexual deviances, they simultaneously push a big red button clearly labeled "Do Not Touch" and destroy what's left of the earth. Well, the talent agent is flabbergasted. He says, "What do you call such an act?" Karl Rove simply replied, "The Republicans." It's the only joke I know. Thank you. Oh, Kurt Weissman, I'm going to introduce somebody, and they will, yes, I'm going to do